With less than a third of the season left, a pair of Western Conference teams jockey for playoff positioning in Oklahoma City tonight. A red-hot Fresno FC hopes to find 3 more points at Taft Stadium, while the Energy FC faithful hope their team can pull off an important win. Hi there, I'm Ryan Pierce. Eric Krakauer is with me. Eric, 2 playoff position teams face off tonight.
Yeah, and it's important to note that 6 points separate 4th place Austin from 14th place Orange County. And last week, Okc Energy leaving 2 points on the table at home against Tulsa, who are at the very bottom of this Western Conference table.
These teams ended in a draw on June 8th. Each team's top goal scorer got in the books. Jamal Johnson struck in the early minutes for Fresno FC.
And both these goals are about brilliant first touches. The way that Jamal Johnson just kills the ball and sets up his shot to unleash a rocket. And then Brown over here, the ball bounces right next to him. It's not an easy height to control, but he does well to smash it in.
It took him 70 minutes, but Energy FC's Deshaun Brown equaled that match. Cody Lorendi was great when these teams last met. Fresno outshot OKC 24-6, yet Cody only gave up 1 goal like he did last week versus Tulsa.
Yeah, man of the match performance, blemished by a costly mistake that gifted Tulsa a goal, but he more than made up for it at the end, making sure that OKC got a point. Big save right at the end of that game.
On a team that gets a vast majority of its goals from inside the box, Jaime Chavez is a deep striking assassin.
Scored 2 against his former team, punished them, so he will be filled with confidence for tonight.
2 teams in the hunt for the playoffs. 3 important points on the line. OKC FC, Fresno FC. Coming up next.
The mission of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society is to stop euthanasia of healthy adoptable animals in Oklahoma City. For us, it's all about connections. We connect between adopters and fosters, we connect internally, and we connect with our donors and our community. Cox Business helps us make those connections. Our organization has Cox Business high-speed internet and the IP-Centrix managed phone system. It really has made a difference. They're always reliable.
Mercy helps the Energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Lead referee Adam Kilpatrick leads the procession. OKC Energy FC looking for their first home win since May, taking on Fresno FC. They've won 6 of their last 7. Let's have a look at the starting lineups. They're provided by First Fidelity Bank, proud founding partner of Energy FC. Here is the starting lineup for Fresno FC.
We take a look up top. The man, Jaime Chavez, who scored a brace last week against his former team. He's going to be the guy that everybody's going to have to keep an eye on because he's confident coming into this game. But also Jamal Johnson, who scored the last time these 2 teams met. A beautiful goal. He's the top scorer on the team.
CJ Cochran is between the pipes. He's been great this year as well. Let's have a look at the OKC starting lineup. Deshaun Brown gets the start in that number 9 spot, their leading goal scorer this year.
And Steve Cook wanted a more hardened lineup to face Fresno. Callum Ross replaces Javon Watson, who saw Red the last time out, and Williams comes in for Cordell Cato, who was a shadow of himself against Tulsa.
Eric Brown had a hamstring injury last week. He only could play about 30 minutes in their matchup against Tulsa. He should be good to go for the full 90 today.
Yeah, he was missed, but Isley, who played in his stead, did score that goal that got them the point.
A big matchup tonight. Two of the top teams in the Western Conference. OKC Energy FC battling for 3 important points. Head coach Adam Smith, you just saw, the Fresno FC, they're third in the Western Conference. These two teams separated by just 10 points, and Fresno often going early as they try to put some pressure on the home team. Energy FC looking for their first home win since May. They're 0-2-4 in their last 6 home contests. Fresno FC on fire, winners of 6 of their last 7. Their offense have been so good in that time span, but defensively solid as well. They have allowed a goal or less in their past 5 matchups.
This is going to be a very tough matchup for OKC. The results have not been going their way. They need this one today.
A couple times here at Taft Stadium, they've been leading early, including last week against Tulsa. They got that early goal score. Tulsa comes back and gets a goal later on in the first half. A second half red card put OKC at a disadvantage. That one is in the box. And a miscue in a dangerous spot for Fresno, but they're able to clear. Energy FC had a red card in that second half. They had about 30 minutes to kill down a man. They did a great job with that. Coach Steve Cook, who is missing today after getting the boot last week, assistant coach Danny Stone on the sidelines. I think he was relieved with his team. They were able to stick together and hold on to 1 point.
Yeah, certainly, and they did so well to basically stymie Tulsa, who had their tails up in that game, but that's also the silver lining take on the game. Really, they should have done better before Javon Watson was sent off. That was supposed to be 3 points in the bag.
Nikhil Williams starting in Watson's place tonight. On the counterattack, that's Kula Wall, the leading goal scorer for Fresno. He had some space, but they say the ball was past the sideline.
Well, apparently, but I don't think.
As Coach Smith is pleading his case, you can hear the lead referee, Adam Kilpatrick, explaining, Coach, the ball was out of bounds, that's why we blew the whistle.
Well, it didn't look like it to the naked eye. And he was very close to that little bit of action.
Coach Adam Smith, what a job he's done with this program. Fresno FC has already eclipsed their win total from last season. Their victory last week against Las Vegas gives them 40 points on the year. That's more than they had last season with, I believe, 12 games to go on their schedule.
That's a great ball to Brown.
Here's Deshaun Brown, their leading goal scorer. The chip across the box. Highland heads it in the box. Isley looking for an angle, and an offsides is called.
I think so. Coming from an offside position, or was it Brown when he initially gets that ball, deep ball, 30-yard ball.
Assistant referee Matt Trotter making the call there. Shane Kennard also out there on this great officiating crew, headed by Adam Kilpatrick. In between the pipes, C.J. Cochran. What a season he has had for Fresno, one of the better keepers in the league. 8 combined saves in his last 2 matches compared to just 1 goal allowed. On the other end, Cody Lorendi. You know he's going to be tested tonight against a Fresno team that likes to strike. Outshot OKC Energy FC 24-6 last time these teams played. Lorendi was brilliant in that matchup as that one goes past the sideline.
And so far, OKC living up to their name because they've come into this game with a lot of energy, winning the 50-50 so far.
That's a good sign for, I guess, with Coach Cook not on the sideline, assistant coach Danny Stone in team. Fresno, very aggressive group. Those 50-50 balls, I'm guessing, going to be huge this evening for Energy FC.
Yeah, and the sense of urgency, and you talked about this with Coach Cook, increases as the season comes to an end. And because they didn't get those 3 points against Tulsa, there's a lot more pressure against Fresno. Good ball for Brown here.
Here's Brown with some space. The gap was closed quickly by Elijah Martin and easily picked up by the keeper.
And that was a poor touch in the end from John Brown. That first touch, he should have hit it into stride. He didn't. And that allowed Elijah Martin to catch up with him.
Martin, the versatile defender from Fresno. He loves playing in his hometown. Came up in the Fresno U23 teams. That back line, and you look at this Los Oros squad, like OKC, they really are the definition of well-balanced. Back line to front line, very skilled.
Yeah, and it shows this season where they've already beaten the point tally of the last campaign with those 3 points that they got against Las Vegas Lights.
Assistant coach Stone manning the sideline tonight, acting head coach this evening. After a late, I guess you could say, disqualification for Coach Cook last week. Of course, he very kind and generous with his time when we spoke with him this week. He said Coach Stone will do a great job tonight.
And one thing he didn't say when we spoke to him was how frustrated he was with the refereeing last week. Although you have to say that Javon Watson got his marching orders. He earned them, I guess is the best way to say it. 2 yellows.
That one sent out of play. It's good to see Ramon Del Campo out in the field. He wears number 4 for Fresno. Last week he had a scary incident where he slid into another player. The other player for Las Vegas clipped his left thigh and almost bent behind his back on the ground. The player for the Lights was given the red card. Del Campo was pulled out of the game. He's back tonight and looking okay, thankfully, because it was a scary incident.
And that tandem with Michael Daly is a very good one in this league. But so is Ibeaga and Harris. Those 2 center backs are among the best in USL.
Good battles all around. As the teams pinball the ball at midfield. Here's a through ball to Brown. John Brown tries to cross. He was looking for the Shorn Brown. And a Alito corner.
And Callum Ross with a beautiful searching ball to John Brown. A lot of questions as to whether Callum Ross can replace Watson, because Watson, before getting sent off against Tulsa, was by far their best player. And the man who just received that pass wasn't at his best.
It'll be Rafael Garcia to corner kick this one. Yeah, John Brown's had a really good last couple of weeks. Did struggle a bit, though, in their most recent matchup against Tulsa. Looking to make amends for that. Already a couple good runs. See if he can break through in a bit here. Here's Garcia. Garcia, the corner, headed out by the back line of Fresno. Highland's waiting for it. Pressured, fees towards the box. Now to Shorn Brown, will take it calmly in the corner. That's actually Ibeaga, and he'll play it out.
Ibeaga had enough time to control that ball and give it to Rafael Garcia. He was hoping for the corner. Instead, he's going to get a throw in. But we know that Highland has a way of reaching his intended target with his throw-ins.
Kyle Highland, the new dad, had a son born about 10 days ago. He had an assist from a throw-in last week. Let's see what he does here. And again, the back line for Fresno waiting for it. OKC holds possession. 18th in the league in goals scored as Ibeaga goes up for it.
And Cochran does well there to get it at the second attempt. Ibeaga, twice in a row, isolated with an opportunity to collect one of those long balls. Cochran does well, comes out here, challenges Ibeaga, and then that's a gimme on the second attempt.
CJ Cochran, a former OKC Energy keeper in 2016-2017. On the other end, their top goal scorer, Lawal, the deep kick. A liner right to Lorendi. Just a little bit of a warning shot, I think, from Lawal, saying, hey, I can strike from out here.
Yeah, that had a little bit of pop on it, and that's why Lorendi lets the ball bounce after he makes the initial save, take the sting out of it. Does well to evade the challenge from Rafael Garcia, and then puts his foot through it.
Lawal, 7 goals this year, tied for the team lead. He and Jamal Johnson are quite the duo. And of course, we talked about it. Jaime Chavez had a pair of goals last week, one of multiple players with a brace. 31 of the 36 goals this year for Fresno have been scored inside the box, but they do have some deep threats. Energy FC, they've been road warriors this year. They've struggled at home recently, though. They've had a couple good opportunities to win, yet they still sit in that 8th spot in the Western Conference standings, comfortably in 3rd. It's Fresno FC. About 10 minutes in. Pretty clean game so far. There's an infraction on Fresno.
Samura, just a little bit of a tug there on Highland, who was in unfamiliar territory.
Zule Samora making his debut for head coach Adam Smith. His pro debut tonight for Samora, 22-year-old from Sierra Leone. As Williams will throw in, he's getting the start. Omar Gordon off the bench tonight, a rare opportunity for him to be a substitute. One of the top offensive players for Energy FC. Coach Cook thought he might be more valuable tonight, maybe getting a little bit of a rest to start and have some fresh legs in the second half.
We'll also talk about players who didn't perform to their potential last week against Tulsa. Gordon was certainly one of them, getting pulled in the second half. And Isley, who scored the goal, is the man who keeps Gordon on the bench as he maintains a starting spot.
Fresno FC, their 36 goals, that's 11th in the league. Haitian on offense. This group starts with Del Campo and Mickey Daly, number 5 in the back. That's Daly overlooking the field. Good crossing pass. That's trouble in the box and a whistle. Energy FC may have caught a break.
Oh, that's a high boot from Alex Cooper as he goes for that ball, unless he was called for an offside, but I think it was the foul that was whistled.
Cooper, the midfielder. He goes back and forth between left back and midfielder. Yep.
And both teams right now resorting to that long ball, and it's worked well for the Energy so far. Fresno weathered that early storm. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration to use the word storm, but that aggressiveness with which they started the game, now getting a little bit of a footing on it.
What's the thought process behind maybe being aggressive with the deep passes as opposed to working the ball more methodically when you open a match like this?
Well, it's about the spaces that you're afforded by your opponent, but also playing to your best attributes, and there's a lot of speed, especially on the Energy side.
Cook mentioned a big key for them is to keep those cross-court passes from getting into effective spots for Fresno. As a foul is called on Energy FC. Physicality picking up. Both these teams like to play aggressive.
And the ref is doing well to try and temper the emotions right now, because there have been a few raw challenges.
McKeel Williams. Whenever you get, I'm guessing, if you get a rare start, you're going to want to come out and make your imprint on that match early, even if it means maybe picking up a foul.
Yeah, and he was one of the players that came off the bench last week and did well to hold on to that point.
Good tackle there from behind. That back line for Energy FC tough. Here's to Sean Brown. Battles a double team. Samara was right next to him. A little bit too deep. Dangerous header. It goes over Cochran, out of play. That will be a corner.
Yeah, Michael Daly wasn't sure where Cochran was. And credit to John Brown for continuing his run, making sure that Daly is under pressure as he's trying to deal with this ball, which is always difficult because your back is to it. It's coming from behind you. It's up in the air. You lose your bearings a little bit.
Sure, his heart was pumping a little bit once he turned his back to the offensive team, trying to figure out where they were.
And once again, it was a long ball, this time from Isley, who I think had time to settle it down and really pick his target.
Third corner here for Garcia. Let's see what he can do. This is more of a line drive towards the middle. Isley tries to keep it in. Samara, the bicycle kick out to Highland. Tiba Harris. He had the miscommunication with Lorendi last week that led to the 1 goal for Tulsa.
And that's the second time that Highland has gotten one of those balls that has been cleared from the box, and he immediately sends it back into the mixer. He has enough time to settle it down, look for somebody, instead of just rushing into a lobbed pass. Now, you never know. There's chaos in the box, and it may work for you, but be a little bit more patient. Still very early in the game.
Highland, a heck of a last couple of weeks. A goal 2 weeks ago, an assist last week. As OKC Energy FC trying to pick up their first win at Taft Stadium since May. They've been great on the road. That's a wonderful sign as we work our way into mid-August and then September. A couple of road victories could be huge for this Energy FC team in this very cramped Western Conference as Lorendi, his aggressive self, plays it out. The style of play is making our great camera crew work here, back and forth. Deep ball after deep ball. See if one of these teams can connect on a home run.
Hiroki Kurimoto for Fresno has been pretty good so far in this game and trying to win the ball back, maintaining some possession. He's been involved.
Kurimoto began the season on the bench for Fresno FC, playing in his first year in the States from Japan. Energy FC fans steadily supporting their team throughout the year. One of the best fan bases in the league, as head assistant coach Danny Stone, acting head coach today.
Coming out on a very warm day.
Over 100 degrees earlier. And of course, mid-August, humidity in OKC is going to be high. Brown going for the crossing pass. That leads to corner kick number 4 by my count.
Good awareness from Isley to find John Brown on the right-hand side. That's the second time he hasn't been able to get the cross off, though. But good in transition from the Energy so far, putting Fresno under the cosh.
Here is Garcia, the 2-time MLS champ with LA Galaxy, to kick the corner. Here's a chance, just a little bit wide. That was the best opportunity to score so far. Ibiaga, maybe a little bit frustrated with himself, but a good look.
Yeah, seemingly unmarked, and if he is, he's got to put this away. He had Lawal on him, but he beats him as he cuts inside. The goal at his mercy, just hits it wide. He's actually trying to aim that in. He should have just thumped it straight ahead. Fresno getting away with one, and Ibiaga really should have put that on target.
I want to quickly mention Energy FC would like to thank OG&E for being the presenting sponsor for tonight's match. We all know that the Energy scores on the field, but you can score at home with OG&E's energy efficiency programs. Just go to OGE.com to learn more. The set piece is coming up here for Fresno. Chavez goes down, fresh off that brace last week.
Getting the wind knocked out of him.
What a year for Adam Smith and team. 40 points for Fresno and their head coach. The most in their 2-year history, just a young team.
Just seems to get a late hit from Rafael Garcia there in the back and the kidneys.
Deep ball in the box, an opportunity for Daly. Couldn't quite get up.
I think that ball was just a little behind Daly. He tries to twist his neck.
JJ Johnson. So you can see how humid and hot it is in OKC. Just about 19 minutes in, players drenched in sweat. Johnson was maybe a little bit frustrated with himself. Didn't quite get that kick on target, but it was a tough one from deep.
He's had an interesting career, Johnson, playing for Wolves in England, as well as Stockport. Spent some time in Bulgaria as well, Lokomotiv Sofia. So he's well-traveled, plenty of experience.
Johnson with it, looking for his first goal since July 13th. Yeah, let's Isley go by. Here's where Fresno's so effective. When they have it out wide. It's turned around by Williams. And Ellis Hayden will throw in.
And that space opens up because Johnson cuts inside, opening the right-hand side corridor for Ellis Hayden. Can't get a good enough touch on the first touch and then close down quickly.
Here's Johnson. Back to Ellis Hayden. Highland on him. The one-on-one matchups are exciting tonight when you think about the back line of OKC, one of their strengths against this formidable attacking bunch for Fresno. High throw in the box. Played back out. Isley will clear.
And you're starting to see Fresno growing into the game. The energy just being pinned back a little bit. Forced into a deeper block.
Fresno seems a bit more patient than they were in the first 10 minutes.
Well, it was also about just dealing with the way that the energy came out into this game.
The cat-mouse game. One team makes a play, the other reacts and alters the game plan slightly.
Well, and Fresno knows that the onus is on OKC. They need the points. So they'll react a little bit as they have and then adjust and slowly build their game as we're seeing right now.
Energy FC 7-7-9 in a battle for those final couple of spots in the Western Conference. They're in 8th place, but there's a log jam. 3 teams right behind him. Here's a deep kick just wide.
Well, you know he can shoot from deep because he punished them last time they met. A ton of space. I know it's from very far away, but he uncorks one. And from our angle, that did not look very far off target. He had Lorendi scrambling to reach that corner. And had that been on target, had that been on frame, that is a golazo for this man.
J.J. Johnson, he's such a talented player. He's been frustrated recently, a couple near goals over the past few weeks. I think he was upset at himself on a deep pass earlier. He's like, you know what? I might be 30, 35 yards out. I'm going to take a strike here and see what happens.
Well, the seas just parted in front of him. That's an open invitation for a man who's only 2 goals shy of 50 in his career.
Fresno scores a vast majority of their goals inside the box, but recently they've been more aggressive outside. It's paid off. Both of Chavez's last week were from deep. A little pressure now in OKC. Let's see how they respond. As Fresno has upped the temperature a bit here.
And this is where Javon Watson was so good last week when Tulsa started pressing. He was good at controlling the midfield, making sure that the buildup wasn't chaotic.
Here's Brown. He battles with Martin. Now Alvin Jones sends it towards the box. Streaking in and getting the goal is Energy FC. Coming in was Kyle Highland. How about that one?
Well, first of all, how about that pass? But then how about that jump from Kyle Highland, who is far shorter than Zachary Ellis Hayden, and still manages to beat him to the ball and place it perfectly into the corner. Tremendous leap from the left back. Alvin Jones with a lofted ball and then a thumping header off his meaty forehead. CJ Cochran doesn't know what hit him.
Kyle Highland has been on fire recently. I love the celebration, the baby rock, of course. About 10 days earlier, he became a new father. Since then, he's got a goal and an assist. He's got 2 goals in his past 3 contests.
Well, it's been an incredible streak for a left back, no less.
A stunning goal for OKC. A left back gets a header off a gorgeous pass from Alvin Jones to give them the 1-0 lead against Fresno.
And what's incredible about that is that as Alvin Jones picks up his head, sees Kyle Highland streaking from the corner of his eye, I'm thinking there is no way he's going to reach that ball. But somehow And this is a testament to willpower, but also measuring your leap to perfection. He gets on the end of it and scores a beauty of a goal.
That's going to be tough to top tonight. So OKC Energy FC, they're up 1-0 for the second straight week at home. Here's where Coach Cook is trying to make the emphasis. When we get the lead at home, we have to keep it. Twice this year, they've blown early leads. Let's see if they can hold on to this one. Energy FC 55, 12, and 16 as a program when they score first. Now, it's important to note Fresno, they're 10, 0, and 3 when they score first this year. Incredibly good. When their opponent scores first, they've only won one time. They're 1, 3, and 3. So that first goal is massive, and it belongs to Energy FC.
And I think you've said this, but it's worth repeating that Fresno is also a far better team at home than away. And that is usually the case with most of these teams in USL, especially when they have to travel huge distances.
An incredible goal by Kyle Highland. The assist from Alvin Jones. OKC leads 1-0. Fresno trying to respond in the box, and it's played out. That was Jones kicking out of play. I mean, this is just a beautiful pass from Jones.
And he sees the run that Highland makes early. Lofts it perfectly, but that header was sumptuous.
Highland has showed us the full package recently. He had the assist last week, 2 weeks ago. An incredible goal with his right foot, and now the header. Dangerous pass, gets through everybody, and it goes. As Fresno ties this one up at 1 apiece. It was Chavez, his third goal in 2 weeks.
Well, there you go. When a player is confident, when he's on a high, that's the kind of goal that he can score. But he comes up unmarked at that far post. And this is a bucket of cold water for OKC Energy because they've done so well to get ahead. And then some defensive fragilities on this set piece as the corner comes in, goes by a number of players. And Chavez, I think he gets past Isley, who may have been the man marking him. That is a poacher's goal for a man who's been on fire.
Chavez has been fishing out goals recently. He's got 6 this year. The assist from J.J. Johnson, that's a stunner. Incomparable to last week when OKC scored early and Tulsa responded within minutes.
And I see what you did there with the with the fishing comment. Well done.
The celebrations are appropriate this week with Highland doing the baby rock and Chavez fishing out a few goals.
The baby rock, which was made famous by the Brazilian striker Bebeto in 1994.
That's pulling one out of the history book there. Impressive.
Yep. What a player he was.
So we're tied at 1 apiece. OKC gets a surprising goal. Surprising because it was the defensive back Kyle Highland coming out of nowhere off a beautiful pass from Alvin Jones. By the way, that's Alvin Jones' first assist this season. So OKC strikes first. They go up. And within about 7-8 minutes, Fresno comes back off a set-piece corner kick. The ball gets by everybody, and you're thinking at that point, this is trouble for the home team. And sure enough, Chavez boots it through the back of the net.
And we saw that happen against Tulsa as well. Corner from the same location, goes through a number of players, and then they didn't get punished then, but they got punished this time.
Coach Cook watching from the booth, can't be on the sideline tonight after he was ejected very late in their matchup against Tulsa. I love about Coach Cook, though. Even when that happens, he's so kind when he talks about it, when he chats with us during the midweek interview.
Well, I think it's a little, the tone is always, strikes a little bit different when he's speaking to us compared to when he's speaking to his assistants or to his players, and whoever was near him. Nice move there from Rafael Garcia. I'm sure he or she heard a few curse words because that is atrocious marking.
Alvin Jones, already 1 assist today. Garcia in the box. Brown was looking to try to back tap it to Jones, and it was taken away, and then Brown is called for the foul.
He may have attempted to dummy that ball. Didn't quite work out.
Energy FC 7-7-9. Fresno FC 11 3-7 this season. They're comfortably in third place in the Western Conference by 10 points. So we got a hydration break coming up. It's nearly 100 degrees. 1-1 tie score. Looking at that last play, you said maybe it was a dummy attempt?
Yeah, I think he's trying to open. No, you were right. He tries to flick it to Alvin Jones. It would have been in an offside position. And going back to Steve Cook, watching this game, I think for the most part, he's pretty happy with what he's seen. He's seen his team take the initiative, attack Fresno. They're the team that need to get these 3 points more than the visitors. Everything goes so well. You get a goal that comes from an unlikely source in an unlikely way, and it all goes to waste with really bad marking in the box from a set piece. A set piece, by the way, those sort of defensive routines are practiced over and over and over again. And to see that happen is going to be very frustrating for the coach.
I would imagine the feeling for acting coach Stone and his team when you have that emotional high of just getting that goal and then your opponent's Fresno get a quick goal. It's like a rock is dropped in the pit of your stomach. It probably just feels awful.
Yeah, and it's a here we go again moment, right, for the team. But home fans still very happy.
Always a fun time at Taft Stadium. They're keeping hydrated, I guess, with their beverages on this very hot night. 96 degrees, our team showed you earlier. OKC and Okc entertaining the fans.
I think I said this last week, but these OKC jerseys are wonderful. I need to get myself one for my collection.
The dark blue, that lime green really pops in the kits. Kyle Highland, the new father. He had the early goal for Energy FC off a gorgeous pass from Alvin Jones, his first assist this year. Fresno responds, though, and we're tied at 1. About 15 minutes left to go in this first half. CJ Cochran, he's played every minute this season. Mr. Reliable, boots it midfield. Martin upset with himself after misheading that one. It'll be a throw-in for Energy FC. Jaime Chavez has now scored the last 3 goals for Fresno. Kyle Highland has been involved in the last 3 goals for OKC. J.J. Johnson, nice little run out wide. Back to Johnson, who just missed a deep strike earlier.
That's a good idea from Johnson. He's expecting Ellis Hayden to be there.
Zach Ellis Hayden stayed back. Johnson, what a player he is. Tied for the team lead with 7th goals, top 30 in the league. He scored the only goal for Fresno against OKC last time. Two teams in playoff spots trying to earn 3 points tonight. OKC seeking their first home win since May. Fresno FC shooting for its 7th win in its last 8 games. They're tied at 1 apiece.
And looking ahead to the Energy schedule, almost every team, bar one, is in this playoff hunt. So every one of those games is the proverbial 6-pointer, because not only are you getting 3 points for yourself, but you're stealing 3 points from your nearest rivals.
And I know they want to win against Fresno, as that one just past Brown, try to keep it in play. Fresno's ahead of them, though. He'll be tough to catch, but the teams they play coming up, they're right next to them in the standings.
Right, and still a possibility to move into those top spots,
sure.
Avoid that play-in game. But they'll have to make sure that they don't concede goals. I've been impressed so far, I was going to say, with Callum Ross. Cleaning up in front of the back 4.
Garcia leads to Sean Brown as he brings it back out looking for the cross. Jones up in the air. Brown had a look. Highland brings it down to Garcia. An opportunity for Energy FC. It's reversed to Jones, and he bangs it off the body of Samara.
That was good play in the attacking third from Rafael Garcia. And I think John Brown, as he goes up for this ball, as he lands, he out-jumps Martin. And as he lands, just rolls his ankle, it seems. Good insistence from the Energy, attacking well.
Kind of a basketball-type injury there, going up for a rebound in hoops, going up for a header in soccer.
And those are always very painful and difficult to recover from the pain. Just as he lands, I think it's his right ankle. Right there.
Not a bad look from Williams. And the set, well, I guess that wasn't a set piece, but the cross-field passes towards the box have been really good so far for Energy FC.
Yeah, picking on the fullbacks for Fresno. And really taking advantage of the height mismatches. It's been mostly positive from the Energy.
They have some size on that offensive end as Brown tries to walk this one off. He's got a couple goals this year, valuable part of the team. Was usually hurt for a few minutes, and assuming nothing is serious, a lot of times players can come back in.
And so far, the advantage for OKC has been in the center of the park with Callum Ross and Rafael Garcia just dictating the play.
Here's Garcia. That's another opportunity, and again it goes wide. Garcia much more accurate on those corner kicks. This time, it was Deshaun Brown having some space.
And once again, it looked like he had gotten away from his marker. Mishitting this one. He's almost unmarked. Hiroki Kurimoto was the closest player to him. Again, needs to be on target.
I feel like Energy FC may have found a weak spot, though, in the defense of Fresno. That's the second time they've had a good look from the corner.
Well, those whipping balls from Rafael Garcia have been very good. We know he's good at set pieces.
Here's a chance for the wall. He tries a cross.
And there's Callum Ross, and if he doesn't get that ball, there's a player in the white jersey just behind him. So good work from the defensive midfielder, the anchor man.
Coach Cook says Ross, reliable, helps control the pace, and a steady defensive player. He gets a start tonight because you're facing this great offensive team in Fresno.
Yeah, he's a defensive presence, but very calm on the ball, very reassuring in possession.
Here is Jamal Johnson, 1 assist off the corner already today. That time, Energy FC ready for it. Not out of trouble yet, though. The cross, and Laurenti pulls it in.
Isley does well to close Kurimoto down quickly. Arms behind his back. Not to give away a cheap free kick or even a spot kick if he's in the box.
Brown battles on the sideline with Martin.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue. That's the thing about those ankle injuries. You don't know the severity until you've tried to walk it off for a few minutes, and that's not a very good sign.
He's trying to play through it. Energy FC does have usual starter Omar Gordon on the bench. My guess is if they would make a sub, that would be the guy.
Might try and run this off until the end of this half. The problem is, if he cools down during the break, that's going to hurt even more. And I think he's coming off because he's walking, well, attempting to run gingerly.
Samara making his pro debut tonight. Ball sent up the field. Williams giving chase. Right behind him is Ellis Hayden. It'll be a goal kick. So we keep an eye on Brown. Looking okay there. I think you make a good point, though, Eric. When halftime rolls around, that's when things will really be tested. Johnson. Samara. Fresno trying to snag the lead. Here's some space for Martin, and he misses left.
Just a little bit of daylight to pull the trigger. The angle is a difficult one. Can't open up his hips because he's got somebody there about to close him down. Gets away from Garcia. And then just before Callum Ross attacks him, whacks one. One of the things that has also worked so well in this game is that you see Highland playing in the midfield and you got Williams playing in Highland's usual position of the left back, and I think that's worked well, allowing Highland to attack at will. We know he likes joining the attack any chance he gets from that left back position.
Isley made contact with a Fresno player going up for that header. As the trainer will come out and have a look at him. So Energy FC kind of banged up here in the first half. We hope Christian's okay. 1-1 even after Energy FC struck first. A goal from Kyle Highland off the first assist this year from Alvin Jones. And then Fresno responded minutes later. It
just goes up with Del Campo. I don't think there's anything intentional in that. He jumps into Del Campo's elbow.
Good to see Isley okay. You never know after contact involves the head, but trainer comes out, has a look at him, and he seems to be fine, so that's a good sign.
And I don't think that Ramon Del Campo has his elbows in a dangerous position. I just think he jumps first, and Isley, jumping second, just knocks into them from underneath. Doesn't mean it hurts any less.
Very incidental. Will be a drop here. Fresno being good sports, gives back to OKC.
Yeah, and smart as well from Chavez, kicking it in to throw, allowing Fresno to then pressure the throw. Get themselves in good position.
So it's good sportsmanship with a pinch of gamesmanship, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
That's played out. Be another throw in here for OKC as we approach halftime.
It's been very disjointed from Fresno so far in this game. They're just not calibrating their passes right. Their movement is a little bit off. Nobody seems to understand the pattern of play.
How much credit goes to the Energy FC defense so they played tonight?
I think a lot of it goes to OKC. They've been aggressive. They've closed down those Fresno players very well.
Johnson trying to cross towards the box. Williams waiting for it.
You'd think that the Energy have the advantage there every time there's a high ball from the wings for Fresno with Harris and Ibiaga.
Ibiaga at 6'2", Harris at 6'3". And you're exactly right, a couple tall players. John Brown, 5'11".
And I think he's just actually gestured to the bench that this is it for him.
Yeah, John Brown has been hobbled since going up for a header in the box moments ago. He's trying to walk it off. Now he'll get another visit from the trainer. My guess is Omar Gordon would come in for him. And it looks like that will be the case. So Gordon, who often starts, will come in.
And Gordon had enough time to warm up and replace the former Cardiff man, Cardiff City, the Welshman, John Brown.
Freaky fast substitution sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Scored a couple weeks ago in Reno, did Gordon. Rough week last week
from Jimmy John's
against Tulsa.
19, row A.
Nice to have him fresh as we approach halftime. Intercepted nicely by Samara. On the counterattack, pass goes past Chavez. Jones trying to clear.
Omar Gordon, minuto 44.
Two Western Conference teams in the thick of the playoff hunt. Fresno third, OKC tied for 8th. Big 3 points on the line here at Taft Stadium. A lot of action around the league. We'll get to that in the halftime show. Here's a chance for Fresno. Big kick, a bit high.
Well, that ball set up nicely for Chavez. There's a weaker left foot there. And he hits it well.
Chavez playing with a lot of confidence.
Just a good win from Lawal on that 50-50 ball. And then slamming right into an OKC supporter who did not expect it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated there'll be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time in the first half.
Fair amount of added time as we've had a handful of stoppages. And a foul as Chavez hit the turf. Garcia right behind him.
Rafael Garcia is a prickly character. He loves getting stuck in, and he always has a little word with the referee when things don't go his way. And it's a clear foul. You see the trip from Callum Ross. Not sure what Garcia is doing, jawing at the referee.
I was about to give Garcia the benefit of the doubt, thinking he was going to help up the opposing player, but you're right. He turned and looked right at the lead referee, Kilpatrick. The back line plays it well. Williams gives chase and clears. Real quick, while we have a second, Fresno travels well. They got a couple groups in attendance. The Vigilantes at Yosemite Falls Cafe on Cedar Avenue. They're in attendance, or rather, they're hosting a watch party. Fire Squad Fresno at Strummers and Tower District hosting a watch party as well. Fresno Skulk at Pine and Palm Brewing also hosting a watch party back in Fresno. And of course, we appreciate it when communities hold their watch parties and support the USL. So thank you to those three groups back in Fresno watching on their TV. Not to say Fresno travels well as also they have some fans in attendance. Making the long trip to Oklahoma City. And treated to a good first half. 1-1 even as we approach the break. Still some time. Alvin Jones, the early assist. Here's Williams. In the box. Daly made the play. And a late bump from Garcia.
Well, the foul, I think, was called on Isley, who smashes into Elijah Martin. And then it's the guy who likes getting into a little bit of a scuffle, who he just mentioned, with a knock.
I'm guessing anytime it's this hot, if you're a player, as Samara goes down, maybe you take an extra second or two just to catch your breath on the ground if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? With the turf as well, that heat is just soaked up by the turf. These players' boots and their feet are just burning up by the time they go into the locker room.
Garcia, the former two-time MLS champ with LA Galaxy, continues to have a lengthy conversation with Kilpatrick, the lead referee.
Another head-on-head collision there.
I got a feeling everybody just wants to get to halftime right now.
Yeah, I think this is Jones and Alex Cooper, I think, who went up. Nope, it's not Alex Cooper.
Yeah, Alvin Jones is the one asking.
Chavez, who goes up with him. He's been in the battles today. The striker rewards himself with a diving header. I think that's why he celebrated the way he did.
Well, Energy FC fans thinking what they're going to eat at the concession stand at halftime. And Chavez really playing well. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. He's got 6 this season. He was a man of the match last week. Because there's so many braces, and we'll get to it at the halftime show, around the league, he did not make the USL Championship Team of the Week, which I thought was surprising, but then you looked at some of the other performances, and you can see why.
Maybe he needs better PR people. Hire himself a publicist.
The media relations team at Fresno does a fantastic job, but yes, I think just an individual PR person, maybe just to send an extra couple of emails to the league office. I get what you're saying.
Send some jerseys as well.
About 20 seconds till we can start thinking about halftime. The first 30 minutes were full of energy. A couple of goal scores, back and forth play, some big strikes from the outside from Fresno, some corner kicks and good opportunities in the box for OKC. The past 15 or 20 minutes have been a little more lethargic. The players impacted by the humidity and heat tonight here at Taft Stadium. More physical. You saw John Brown. It looked like he may have gone up and tweaked an ankle. We don't know what the exact injury is, of course. But he tried to walk it off, and he eventually was subbed in for Omar Gordon. Fresno will probably have one more opportunity here before the official blows the play dead. Let's see. Here's Johnson, tries a chip in the box. Samara with some space. His pro debut, sends it a little bit wide. Lorendi plays it safe and pulls it in. It's actually Alex Cooper there making the kick. And that will lead us to halftime. 1-1 is your score, as OKC got on the board first, but Fresno evened it up just moments later. We'll break and come back, look around the USL, and recap the first half. Energy FC 1, Fresno FC 1 at the break.
Well, it started really well for the home team after Highland scored the first, but a mistake at the back means that we're tied going into the break.
The mission of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society is to stop euthanasia of healthy adoptable animals in Oklahoma City. For us, it's all about connections. We connect between adopters and fosters, we connect internally, and we connect with our donors and our community. Cox Business helps us make those connections. Our organization has Cox Business high-speed internet and the IP-Centrix managed phone system. It really has made a difference. They're always reliable.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit, because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
1-1 at the break. Energy FC taking on Fresno FC. Two teams right in the thick of things in the Western Conference playoff hunt.
When you look at OKC and the fact that they went up early, you look at these standings, an opportunity to distance themselves from that pack that is also vying for the playoffs. But the goal from Fresno putting a little bit of a damper on the festivities so far.
Fresno has a cushion there at the top, but you're right, really between 4 and then you go all the way down to about 14th in the Western Conference. Everybody is pretty tight as they jockey for position. So good action in the USL Championship tonight with a lot of these teams involved in the playoff hunt.
And some of them getting it done tonight, making sure that they solidify their spots. Just look at Austin Bold, 1-0 at the half. So they're in 4th right now. They can climb a little bit higher, or they can distance themselves even better, distance themselves from the teams that are behind them. Looking forward to Phoenix Rising against El Paso, and that's going to be a very emotional game after the tragedy that happened there a few days ago.
Yeah, a couple big ones there. El Paso against Phoenix Rising, and then Austin Bold against LA Galaxy, a team that's also battling for 3 crucial points in that Western Conference. Real Monarchs coming up a little bit later on as well. Looking at the OKC upcoming schedule, we've talked about it, Eric. It is a chance for them to make up some points in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and you look at almost all of these teams are teams that are vying for playoff spots. So like I said before, the proverbial 6-pointers, you get to get 3 points for yourself. You also get to steal 3 points from your rivals, and it's a very difficult run going forward. They need to get the results, and they need to get them now. You talked to Coach Cook. You said, oh, is the team feeling the urgency? He said that they've been feeling the urgency since the beginning of the season. That might be true, but the heat is on now.
The heat is on at Taft Stadium. Hot night. We're tied at 1 apiece. We'll break, come back, and look around the USL.
Fortune can hit from here. Oh! McCarthy once more. Blasted back in, and it's a goal for North Carolina FC. Big shot and scored. As Ben Spees lets one fly and drills it. Fit in with Bethlehem and really Philadelphia. Prater, lofting, header, snap, in! New Mexico to run away with it. We have stealing it now. The ball. Fortune can hit from here. Oh! And how about North Carolina FC?
Cooper gets the return ball. Now Chavez to have a goal! What a strike from Ivan Chavez! His 4th of the year in Fresno FC. Loto clipping it in towards the... Oh, what a save! Tejas in a second save! Santos was in behind. Oh, that's the one!
Okc Energy FC fans, they've been into it from the beginning, so good too. Energy FC and Fresno FC tied 1-1 at the half, as these two teams have been battling since the beginning. A very energetic first 30 minutes, then things slowed up a little bit in that second part of the first half, as I think both teams fatigued from the heat, but now they've got back into it at halftime as we look at the power rankings.
So we look at the power rankings, Phoenix Rising at the very top, and an opportunity to solidify that top spot against El Paso tonight. And you look at all these teams, and you have to say that the Western Conference is the strongest one right now. Tampa Bay Rowdies down a goal so far tonight. So very interesting things going forward in the USL.
Looking at the team of the week, a lot of braces last week, multiple players getting a couple of goals.
Yeah, you take a look at Bonanno and the team of the week with a brace. Okugo also scored a brace from the center back position, and then for Red Bulls too, Elnay with a brace himself, and that is why Chavez from Fresno did not make it on this Team of the Week. Player of the Week, Kana Kimana. A lot of excitement in Atlanta about this player. Scored himself a hat trick against Loudoun United on Friday. And the 19-year-old has scored 6 goals in his last 3 matches. July Player of the Month, just a terrific player who's really showing that he's got all the ability to go to the top. July Player of the Month, Corey Herzog, doing pretty well himself.
Yeah, 5 appearances, 4 goals on 23 appearances this year. He had just an incredible month last month.
Yeah, those 5 appearances and those 4 goals. And those 23 appearances for the season. Crucial player for his team. Taking a look at the news and notes from around the league. Keeping it going, Phoenix Rising, I talked about them. They're in top spot when it comes to the power rankings, looking to extend that 12-game win streak at home against El Paso. And as I said, a very emotional game. Loudoun United FC opens Segra Field with a 3-3 draw over Charlotte Independence in front of a season-high 5,015 fans. And then we look at the scoring leaders, Asante, who is really the man doing the business for Phoenix with 19 appearances, 15 goals in 19 appearances. Very impressive. Daniel Rios for Nashville up there with 15 goals as well. And Kevon Frater, who also dishes some assists with 13. Gonzati with 12. We'll be back with more OKC Energy 1, Fresno FC 1 at the half.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
One at the break. OKC Energy FC, Fresno FC. Let's have a look at those first half highlights, and things got going pretty quick as both teams came out firing.
Yeah, it was a dream start for OKC Energy, needing the points, but the first chance fell to Fresno. Good shot from Lawal from distance, stinging Cody Lorendi's gloves, and then Ebiaga hitting the ball wide from the header. Johnson with an opportunity from distance as well. That didn't miss by much. Lorendi really flapping his wings to try and get to it. The opening goal will come courtesy of Kyle Highland. Alvin Jones with a beautifully lofted ball, and then the left back turned left midfielder today, out jumping Zach Ellis Hayden to reach that ball, and nestles in the corner pocket
Really was an incredible goal, and you think OKC Energy FC has all the momentum at that point, but then moments later, after this beautiful goal from Highland, the road team, Fresno, comes back and just sucker punches them.
Yeah, it's an immediate response, and that's what you want to see when you go behind. But the way that they concede this goal is almost inexcusable. Set piece from a corner, goes through a bunch of legs, a bunch of players, nobody at the first post to cut it out, and it lands at the head of the man who's been on fire, Chavez, who does well with his fish header, and his celebration is just as good.
Jaime Chavez has 6 goals this year, 3 in his past 2 matchups. Really impressive.
An opportunity for Deshaun Brown, pretty much the same spot as Ibeagha, but he does just as poorly and misses the target.
Yeah, the celebrations in that first half were a lot of fun. It personifies the entire first half. Very entertaining. 2 teams tied at 1 apiece. 9 combined shots, a couple on target. Possession pretty even. It was a competitive first half.
Yeah, a lot of parity in this game, but you have to say that all things considered, OKC should be ahead because for the most part, Fresno has caused danger from distance.
It's the second time in 2 weeks that Energy FC has scored the first goal. Then they gave up one pretty quickly. Last week, they picked up an early red card in the second half here at Taft Stadium. They were able to hold on to that 1 point, but you know the team is looking to maybe strike a little quicker here in the second half and get up on top.
Yeah, and let's see how much energy they come out with in the second half. We talked about how good they came out of the gates in the first. See if we can replicate it.
Both teams were firing early. As the lead referee, Kilpatrick gets the okay, and we're off and running in the second half. 3 major points up for grabs in the Western Conference. Fresno, they're comfortably in 3rd place. Energy FC in a dogfight in that 8th spot. They could really use a victory here. Both teams look to slow things down entering halftime. Very hot and humid night, of course, in August in Oklahoma City. We'll see how the energy and pace changes here to start the second half. A foul at midfield on Energy FC.
Let's see about Harris just running over Lawal to get to this ball.
Kudos to Harris, the team captain. You see that C on his left arm. He had a really strong first half. He kept the wall in check. Here's Gordon. He's in after Jonathan Brown appeared, it's tough to say, appeared to have maybe tweaked an ankle, tried to walk it off, and he later came out in that first half. So Omar Gordon off the bench playing, wearing number 91. He gives chase on the far side.
And the type of soccer that the Energy were playing in the first half lends itself perfectly to the speed of Gordon. Let's hope that he can get some of those long balls that were falling to John Brown.
Ellis Hayden, nice move. He gets in the box, chased by Garcia, tries to cross. Dangerous play. And now it's played past the sideline.
Great work from Rafael Garcia, who saw that Williams had been beaten, so he closes up space and makes sure that cross doesn't get across, or at least has a little bit more difficulty. In the end, I think it's Ibeagha who sticks out his foot.
Energy FC looking for their first home win since May. They've been good on the road, but a home victory would be huge. They've had a handful of draws, including last week against Tulsa. Battle between Highland and Ellis Hayden. Contact. Side referee lets it go. As Cochran comes out and plays it.
I can see that. You can hear that there's not a lot of pleasure in that Energy bench with the no call there.
Assistant coach Danny Stone. Here's Gordon with the steal. He comes on the other way. Gordon the shot. It's blocked by the defender, leading to a corner.
A turnover in a dangerous spot, and then the speed of Gordon causing all sorts of trouble. The play doesn't end as well as you would have liked it to, but a threat nonetheless.
Thought it was a corner. It's going to be a goal kick here. They may have gone back off Gordon.
It's Ramon Del Campo who closes down the space quickly.
Del Campo, he started every game this year. As Gordon made a late sub in that first half. He leads his team in appearances. Cochran kicks to midfield. Nice little bicycle kick for Johnson, maybe a half bicycle side kick. Chips it towards the box. Nobody running. Lorendi is back for it.
We're seeing a little bit of what we saw towards the end of the first half. The play very sloppy, just a lot of balls just hoofed upfield, more in hope than expectation. Both these teams have to clean up possession a little bit.
What's a big key for Energy FC in this second half? Is it about cleaning up possession, or is there, I guess, more to it offensively for them today?
Well, the Energy were doing better when Callum Ross and Rafael Garcia were getting on the ball, dictating the tempo, spreading it wide to the runners. In the first half, it was Brown on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, and on the left, it was Highland. I thought that Isley did pretty well at linking up the play, also looking for some of those lofted balls into the wings. I think they need to do that again, because Fresno didn't handle them too well, but now pressing a little bit higher, making it difficult for the Energy to play out from the back. Less time to pinpoint those through balls.
As Jones had his first assist of the season, set up the brilliant goal from Kyle Highland. Got Energy FC on top. Fresno responded quickly. Chavez's sixth goal this year, his third in 2 matches. Gordon across to Highland, it gets through. A tough spot here, though, he'll throw in.
And we talked about this last week. The bounce on the turf makes it so difficult to control. It's just a very high bounce.
It's about the spot. I guess it would have been the opposite side of the field that Highland got his assist from last week.
Well, this is a go-to weapon, and you know that Fresno prepared for this. They saw what happened last week. They know that this is one of Kyle Highland's strengths, and the form that he's in, you wouldn't back against him finding the target.
It's up. Isley doesn't make a run. It's just over the crossbar.
And there you go, straight to the head of Ibiaga. His head seems to have its own gravitational pull, because every time he's in the box and there's a set piece play or a throw, it seems to land right there where it needs to be.
The 6'2" defensive player is their main target. Atiba Harris also in there. As Cochran boots this one away at midfield. Samara wins the 50-50 ball. Little contact, late whistle.
Oh, I don't know about that. Rafael Garcia is half the size of Lawal as he's battling for this one. Well, maybe a little bit of a nick there, but there's not much in it.
Now a set piece here for Fresno right at midfield. It'll be J.J. Johnson to kick. He rolls it towards the box. Lawal trying to work on Garcia. Garcia handles it well.
It was a good idea. They overloaded that left-hand side at the second post, and then try and trick it with a ball through to the feet of Lawal, who can't control it well, and then he doesn't have an overlapping run from Ellis Hayden, so it didn't work out.
These two teams ended in a 1-1 draw back in early June. It was an early goal for Fresno that gave them the lead. OKC responded very late in that match. 1-1 now here early in the second half. Important 3 points on the line as McKeel Williams inbounds.
And the pace of the game so far is just very slow, and that benefits Fresno. 1 point here is good enough for them. OKC really have to put the foot on the accelerator.
You think that will impact the way Fresno plays in the second half? Maybe try to be a little more passive? Coach Smith maybe tell his players just to maybe be careful with the ball.
Yeah, there's no need to up the tempo. Again, the responsibility is on OKC's side. They need to show that urgency that Coach Cook was talking about.
Coach Smith and company undefeated this year when scoring in the first half. They're also undefeated when leading after 60 minutes. We're approaching that mark here, tied at 1 apiece. I think that shows that Fresno very good at closing out matches. They get on top and they rarely give up leads. They've won 6 of their last 7, going for 7 of 8. Williams. A little touch to Garcia. Snuffed out there by Fresno.
That back line for OKC has to push further forward. They're too deep. And by doing that, they allow everybody else to push forward, pin back Fresno. Right now, they're not under too much pressure.
CJ Cochran, the goalkeeper for Fresno. Good matchup tonight between keepers, Cochran, and then Lorendi, the leader in saves. Both were tested a little more early. Recently, though, not as challenging. As Gordon went down, looks like it'll be a foul on Fresno.
And this is a good set piece opportunity, considering the danger that the Energy have caused from dead balls and how well the man on the ball right now, Rafael Garcia, has delivered them into the heart of the box.
I was going to say, Garcia, the past couple corner kicks have been really solid. A couple near misses from OKC as Chavez picks up the yellow card. What are you thinking here? One deep, or is he going to play it cautious?
He's certainly aiming for one of the towers in the box.
OKC has that size advantage. They've been close on a few of these set pieces.
Just aim for the penalty spot here. Perfect location. And something happened here. Off the ball.
As it looks like it was Isley going down. I think he's saying he got hit in the face. It's a yellow card. As that's on Ellis Hayden. Now, where did that take place at? Was it outside the box? As Ellis Hayden picks up the yellow.
Well, I think the discussion here is that if you're going to call a foul and the play, well, did he whistle it before Rafael Garcia gets a kick on the ball? And that's exactly what happened, so it's not a penalty. If not, it would be a spot kick.
And that's what the lead referee, Kilpatrick, is explaining.
So this was the foul. A little bit of a swinging arm and then a late foot to trip Gordon. And you know what? I'm not sure. I don't know when that whistle is blown, if it was just before Rafael Garcia kicks the ball or not.
It looked like the contact was definitely before the kick. Now, when the whistle was blown, it was tough to tell. And of course, it takes the official a couple seconds to see it, process it, and then make the call, and that was close to when the kick was made.
Yeah, you take a look. Yeah. I mean, it seemed to me that he almost whistles afterwards, and that looked like an elbow as well from Zach Ellis Hayden. It looked like he knew what he was doing. So he's very lucky to be on the pitch right now, because that could have been a straight red.
I think that's what Christian Isley is pleading for. It makes you think what goes through the mind of the official in that situation. Maybe keeping in mind, I know you're not supposed to think about other factors, but maybe the score being this tight, maybe it being early in the second half.
Well, that should not come into consideration.
It will be another opportunity here for Energy FC. The good news is Isley looks okay. He's had a tough physical night. That's the second time he's been hit in the head.
I'm not sure where Fresno has 2 men on the wall in this situation. There's no need for that.
Up towards the box. With Chavez getting a head on it first. Williams brings it down. Here's Williams trying to turn the corner. Fresno making it tough.
He had no help, so he has to cut inside. And then, well, that wasn't his only option. Look at Ibeagha during the free kick, finding some space and challenging for the ball. Good work from Chavez, who not only has a goal tonight, but has helped defensively on all those set pieces.
That didn't appear to be a bad pass, too. I mean, Ibeagha was right there. Chavez just played it perfectly.
Yeah, it was right into the heart of the box, and that's where you want to aim that ball. It's difficult for Cochran to come out and get it.
OKC is threatened on the set pieces. That's when they've had their best opportunities. And again, Isley goes down. It's an unlucky night for him.
I know. It has not been his night. I don't know if it's the ball or whether it's Samura's knee that smacks into Isley. That was just an awkward play.
Samora making his pro debut. He also went down on the play.
And I think to add insult to injury, Isley is going to go into the book. Yeah, for a high knee, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's a good call by the referee. Isley comes off worse, but he's the culprit in this situation.
Frustrated. Moments ago, he had a bit of a wry smile after that.
And he had a very good first 20 minutes of this game. He had enough space to find the ball, to turn, look for passing options. But since then, Suleiman Samora has gotten a lot closer to him, has played a lot deeper, a lot closer to that back four.
He scored a goal last week on a header. His head seems to be a target tonight, though.
For all the wrong reasons.
Samora also looks okay, so that's good. Isley chatting with Kurimoto, acting head coach tonight, or acting coach Danny Stone. Looks on, his team even with Fresno. Fresno's been on fire. They've won 6 of their last 7. OKC got the early lead. A goal in the 23rd minute from Kyle Highland. Chavez responded in the 27th. Almost the exact same amount of time between the first half goals last week between OKC and Tulsa. Fresno did give up a second half goal in their win against Las Vegas last weekend. Energy FC held Tulsa scoreless despite playing a man down much of their second half.
It's a good opportunity here to attack in transition.
Garcia. Martin was waiting for it. Here's Gordon. Omar Gordon didn't get the start today. Probably more fresh than the rest of the players on the field. Chavez almost intercepted it. And a foul called at midfield as Gordon went down.
And this is a bit of a bailout from Del Campo because Gordon didn't have control of that ball.
Here's Highland. Working to his left. Tries to key one up. Ricochets back and it'll be a throw-in.
But too predictable on that move. You know that he's always going to favor his left. Trying to go deep and cross the ball. Well defended by Ellis Hayden.
The reliable left back rarely takes a break. Denied Highland the cross that time. And now he'll throw in.
And he's going to get his center backs, or give them time to come into the box.
Kyle Highland up in the air. Short throw in and plucked out of the sky by Cochran.
There's a little bit more air underneath that ball than Highland wanted. And that's a cramp right there, just as Cochran goes up.
Sure, as a former player, you know that right away when you see him go down, what he's feeling.
Yeah, calf cramps are painful, although that looked like it was just a minor one. Fair play to Isley to stretch Cochran out. Also trying to get him up as soon as possible. Get to playing again.
And good sportsmanship with a touch of gamesmanship, maybe.
Right there as he comes down. on that second hop. That's when it pulls.
What a year CJ Cochran has had. Former OKC Energy keeper, the 2016-2017 season before Cody Laurenti took over.
And again, no hurry for Cochran. There's just no hurry for Fresno, pushing everybody up.
Trying to get 1 point on the road. Energy FC, they're the team that is really battling for a playoff spot, and yes, there's time. But if you can come away with 3 points against one of the best teams in your conference, that's huge. Daly keys it off as it goes out of play.
Well, this is a throw in a very deep position now for Fresno. So you'd expect the Energy to push and press, trying to trap them in.
A sub coming in as Kristen Cheney comes in. The big forward, Lawal, the leading goal scorer this year for Fresno, out. Cheney bringing in some fresh legs.
A difficult game for Lawal. He had to battle it out with Harris and Ibiaga, as well as Callum Ross.
Lawal often won't play the full 90. He got the start tonight because of an injury to Arun Basulovic. That's one thing to keep in mind. Hot, humid night here in OKC as we approach the latter parts of this contest. Endurance, fatigue taking factor. Gordon trying to weave between defenders. Through ball to Gordon, he's got speed as he battles with Kudimoto. Kudimoto wins that one momentarily. Gordon gets it back.
That was good help from Elijah Martin, coming to the aid of his teammate. And then protects the ball well with his body, and that's why Omar Gordon gets called on the foul here for just shoving into him. But I'm surprised that as soon as Gordon gets the ball here on this play, too few players joined the attack. Too many Energy players just sitting back, hoping that something happens with the three players who are in the attacking third, and that's just not going to cut it when you need a win.
We saw that a few minutes ago, too, with McKeel Williams when he was on that left side, and he had to circle back towards the middle because nobody really came to help him out.
Nobody opening up, nobody becoming that option. And then what happens is the Energy resort to these long balls, which worked in the first half but haven't in this second.
Isley had a goal last week, looking for the cross, leads to a corner.
Well, he wins the corner over here, but when Isley gets this ball and he looks behind him, there's nobody there helping him once again. But these have been the situations where Energy have caused the most trouble.
Here is Garcia. His last couple corners have been good. Opportunity here. Watch Ibiaga, that's been his main target. This one is to Ibiaga, and a little bit wide left as he just got it off the side of his head.
Once again, he gets on the end of this ball. This time he doesn't make enough contact. And really, Fresno very lucky once again to get away with it. Too easy for Ibiaga to carve up some space and find that opening to make contact with the ball.
So OKC has had some opportunities off the corner. Fresno really hasn't tested Cody Laurenti in goal in this second half. As you've talked about, Eric, and part of that strategic, they are content with 1 point, just trying to work the clock, maybe trying to steal it later on, but played a very conservative first 20 minutes or so of the second half. Gordon sends it towards the box, was looking for their leading goal scorer, Brown. Here's Garcia. Gordon, far side, had Brown for a split second, and the gap was closed by Ellis Hayden.
And who shows up in the 6-yard box? The Highland, one of the smallest guys on the field, trying to get to this. It's a wonderful cross from Gordon. It's just begging for a head. Good work once again from Ellis Hayden. Just getting there first.
Here comes another corner for Garcia.
Well, they should really put Fresno, that is, 2 men on Ibeagha because one marker has not worked so far.
Ibeagha cuts. This time it was Atiba Harris coming in. Highland. And it's played out. Another corner coming up. Energy FC really going through the playbook when it comes to these corner kicks tonight.
Yep. Just an all-out assault from the corner flag. Yet to pay dividends, though.
I'm guessing there's only so much you can really do with the corner. It's a matter of trying to find Ibeagha here. It's up. This time punched away by Cochran.
Good work. Quick off his line into traffic. Really hard punch. Getting it away from danger.
Still in a threatening position. And just booted out. This one will be a throw-in.
Johnson doing his due diligence on the defensive end. This is a good spell from the Energy. It hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been effective yet. But it's troublesome. Oh, that's a lovely ball, I was going to say. Just gets a little bit too much air on it, but cutting through that second post. Safe hands from Cochran once again.
Garcia seems to have the touchdown on the pass. It's just a matter of something working out here.
Well, things just happen when he's on the ball. But he's especially good when he's able to whip one into the box.
Looking for a big 3 points. Energy FC has been threatening in the second half. They've really controlled the tempo. As Lorendi clears with the left foot. Omar Gordon is out there for Jonathan Brown, who left late in that first half. As there's contact and a foul is called. Hugh Lawal is out for Fresno. And again, the heat tonight. It's a big story. 96 earlier on in the match. Still very humid. The trainer has been called out multiple times tonight.
Yeah, and Samora in some difficulty. Again, it's a cramp, and cramps are indicative of exactly what you just said. Heat, not getting enough liquid into their system.
A lot of times you see, because it's so prevalent in tennis players will have a bag of bananas on the sideline. Is that what you do in soccer? Is it just water? Is there a fruit maybe that you have for the players?
You got these drinks with electrolytes in them, which really is just a fancy way of saying salt. And you got a couple of other juices. Those are usually the things. Sometimes you'll see players when they're walking out onto the pitch with these little bags that look like baby food. A little bit of protein as well.
Well, we have a quick moment. Energy parents, remember to sign your kids up for the all-new Energy FC Kids Club presented by Supermercados Morelos. Visit energyfc.com/Kids Club to learn more. 72 minutes into it. Samura trying to freshen up.
Oh, what a ball that is.
Here's a chance for Gordon. Nice cross. On the left foot, Gordon. Defender in his way. And it goes over the top.
Ramon Del Campo just put his body on the line. First of all, it is a brilliant pass from Rafael Garcia. Good control from Gordon. Cuts inside and then rifles it straight at Del Campo and hits him in the one spot you never want to get hit.
And Del Campo, he's maybe the toughest player on this field.
Well, this pinpoint accuracy. Sorry to just interrupt you there. And then good work from Gordon with enough space to pull the trigger. Great defending from Ramon Del Campo.
He hasn't missed a minute this season, has Del Campo. That'll be put to the test here as he tries to catch his breath. Nicknamed Tacos de Buche by Fresno fans, reflecting his hunger he brings to the match. And always energetic, as his hydration break is timed perfectly for him.
A test of Ramon Del Campo's fortitude.
A nice ice-cold Ozarka water at the concession stands.
As these players try to catch their breath entering the final 20 minutes or so. CJ Cochran, Cody Lorendi, strong nights both ways. Omar Gordon, we saw him last week. Wasn't his best, but he's been pretty solid since he came in towards the end of the first half.
He's done well, especially in the last 10 minutes. And the man that was standing next to him, Deshaun Brown, who's the goal-scoring threat, has really been on the margins of the game. And it's really through no fault of his own. He just hasn't gotten the service that he needs to strike. We know he's got talent. We saw the goal that he scored against Fresno in Fresno. But just not getting it done because he hasn't had the opportunities. That hasn't stopped him from smiling.
Gordon 5 goals this year. Brown has 9, so 14 goals for Energy FC between those two players. One of them will likely have to come up big over these final minutes if Energy FC wants to pull out the victory.
Well, if they want to win, they're going to have to commit more players and take risks. And I think they're afraid exactly of that. They know that Fresno is a good attacking team. They know they can attack well on the break, so they don't want to commit too many players and then get caught outnumbered the other way. But if you're really chasing the playoffs, if you really have ambitions to do well and to get the best seed possible, then you got to fight for it and throw caution to the wind a little bit.
We've seen Fresno be a little more passive in this second half. Do you think with about 15 minutes left to go before bonus time, they're going to maybe try to up it a notch here?
No, not at all. So far, OKC playing into the hands of the visitors. And look, we've said it, but we haven't talked about its impact on performance, and that's the heat. You know, it hasn't been a fluid game. It hasn't been a pretty game, but that has a lot to do with the conditions tonight.
Gut check time for these two teams, 75 minutes in. Playing for a big 3 points in the Western Conference. Fresno in third place by a comfortable margin, but then things get tight between 4 and about 14. Energy FC in 8th right now, but a handful of teams right on their heels. Fresno scored in the 27th minute. Chavez got his 6th goal of the year, 3rd in his past 2 matches. Kyle Highland had the opening goal off a gorgeous pass from Alvin Jones. We're tied at 1 apiece. In a physical last 30, 40 minutes. After the first 30 minutes of this match featured back and forth action. Handful of shots, couple on goal. Ellis Hayden to throw in here.
That was a good idea from Cheney. He was expecting Johnson to make that run into the half space, but that never came. And time is just winding down.
That's what OKC was looking to do early, those deep through balls, trying to catch maybe Fresno off guard.
But they've been ineffective for most of this half. They were ineffective towards the end of the first.
Is there anything you do differently here if you're Energy FC? I mean, they've kept this at 1-1, but they're really hoping for those 3 points. And it just doesn't seem like, outside of a couple set pieces, they've had a good looks in the second half.
Well, that's been their best source for goal-scoring threats. They need to push our lines forward. They're sitting too deep. They're not sending enough players into the attack.
Fresno FC substitution.
Couple subs coming in for Fresno. James
Leading the match.
Jeff Rard will come in.
Zachary Ellis Hayden.
Ellis Hayden out.
Replacing him, number 14.
Jeff
James
Rard is in.
Gerard.
Big 6'3" defensive
Also
player from
leading the
Canada.
match, number 16, Suleiman Samura.
Amir
Replacing him, number
Ilihajic
13,
is in as well.
Amir
Suleiman
Alahajic.
Samora. in his pro debut. Impressive evening, comes out.
He's exhausted himself, protecting that back four. He's done well.
Here's Johnson. Up in the air. Still in the box. Opportunity. And it goes. Fresno takes a 2-1 lead. Moments after the substitution, it's Del Campo on the goal.
Well, if you thought he was feeling the ball that he just took to the midriff, you'd be wrong. That celebration suggests that he's not feeling it one bit, and that goal plays a big part. Just a second ball that's not won by the Energy, and then well hit from the center back with space, just drills it as hard as he can, and that is right close to the post and the side netting. Very difficult for Cody Lorendi to get there. Well, I said earlier, a bucket of cold water when the Energy conceded right after scoring. This is a bucket of ice. But you have to say, they just didn't do enough with the ball at their feet to attack and put Fresno on their heels, and now they've been punished for it.
Ramon Martin Del Campo, his second goal this year. And now Energy FC down 2-1. They're just probably thinking draw at this time. Another set piece. But really Fresno, they've been deathly quiet the entire second half. Hardly have threatened Cody Lorendi. As Cochran just punches it up. Not a great clear there. Highland gives it a big kick as it goes off Brown.
Throughout this entire game, it had been the Energy threatening over and over again from set pieces. And it ends up being Fresno capitalizing on two of them.
Coach Smith is pleading. He's saying that was off, and it appeared that he was right, off an Energy FC player, as Bassetti will come in. Alexi Bassetti, good striker, in for Isley here. Some fresh legs for Energy FC.
Isley was never a factor in this second half.
Garcia, low kick. We'll see what the official calls here. They're going to say it's another corner. And that one ricocheted right off Brown. It looked like from the initial play, you never know that maybe you missed something from the angle, but that one appeared to be off Energy FC. They catch a break. A little bump. No call, it'll be Fresno throw-in. Also real quick, that is a freaky fast substitution we just saw, sponsored by Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is proud to support the OKC Energy Football Club. Order a freaky fresh sandwich today at jimmyjohns.com or on their app. Potentially an opportunity there for Energy FC after what appeared to be a missed call. They still have it there, and they're attacking third. Trying to create space is Brown. He splits the double team. And it's just cleared out by Fresno.
Well, now you see OKC pushing everybody forward, and this is really what they should have been doing for the entire second half. A little fortuitous bounce for Brown, who gets inside, but really good work from Fresno to plug up that central part of the box and not allowing any space through which a threat could be born, or from which a threat could be born, and give an opportunity to the Energy.
I think Brown was trying to play Superman there. He was thinking goal score by himself. He got past that double team, but Mickey Daly was able to close things out quickly.
Well, again, there was really nothing he could do. Just running into players, a good opportunity for Cheney.
Here's Cheney, some space. Takes a little bit too much time. Lorendi will kick.
Well, not exactly the fastest player on the ball, it seemed. But that bad touch betrayed him.
Cheney has great size, really good off set pieces. That time, though, a little bit behind the ball. A little over 7 minutes left to go. Energy FC, if they're going to make something happen, it has to be soon. Williams just misplayed it a bit.
The heavy
Campbell
touch.
clears.
Great pass from Highland.
Lorendi. The urgent rollout. Coach Smith calling for his team to press the ball here. Energy FC patiently trying to even this one up and save a point. The interception for Fresno. Now they work on the counter. Johnson, the quiet half, loses it past the sideline.
Well, he's looking at Cheney as if Cheney gave him a bad ball, but that's just back control from Jamal Johnson.
Cato comes in. Cordell Cato, more offensive-minded player, comes out for Kyle Highland. What a performance for him. Got his second goal of the year in that first half.
Yeah, Cordell Cato started the game against Tulsa very well and then disappeared. That's why he's been relegated to the bench. Let's see if he can add a spark, energize this team. They're in dire need of some energy infusion.
Got about 6 minutes left. Hot, steamy night here at Taft Stadium. Fans still behind their OKC team, trying to pick up 3 big points. Right now, they're just hoping for a draw.
Curious that they pulled Highland off. No change to the formation, no change to the system.
It was Brown who scored late last time for Energy FC. They're down to 1-0 most of their matchup against Fresno. He scored in the 79th minute.
Now you see that back line, still 4 players for the Energy. No need to have that many players back. Fresno is only attacking with 2-3 players. They're not committing players forward now because they want to protect these 3 points. Why not take out one of the center backs? Play with 3 at the back.
Is that something acting coach Danny Stone could maybe do in the final minutes? Or if he's not done it by now, do you think he'll even do it?
Well, he's going to have to push everybody forward. He obviously doesn't want to lose the set piece threats that are Harris and Ibiaga, but there's no need for them to sit this far back.
Let's see what Energy FC does here. They'll likely have a handful of bonus time with the hydration break.
And just look at where Callum Ross is right now, just behind his own halfway line.
Rossetti turns it back in midfield. The captain Harris with it. Now to Bassetti. He does have a goal this year. Deep ball towards the box. Up in the air. It was to Brown. Got past him. Now with Cato.
That looked like a handball to me. Inadvertent, though. The ball just ricochets.
Cato takes a dangerous roll. And Fresno just clears it. They dodge opportunity number 1 for OKC.
That's what you got to do. Just boot it into the stands. And finally, it looks like OKC has moved everybody into Fresno's half of the field.
That's Martin going down. Fresno trying to pick up their 7th win in 8 contests. What a past couple months they have had. The second year for this program, the second year for head coach Adam Smith. They have just been very impressive. You see Coach Smith there, signed December 2017, as this great front office began to form their team. 39 points last year. They got 40 already this year. Minutes away from picking up 3 more.
Fresno have proven difficult to beat, but if this scoreline holds, OKC is going to look back at this. They're going to look at the videotape. They're going to look at all the opportunities they had, and they're going to know that they should have won this one. In fact, had Ibeagha scored, had Gordon scored from those set-piece plays, this game could have been over in the first half.
There still is time. Energy FC is known for their late-game magic. Let's see if they can pull one out of the hat here. You're in about 7 minutes for stoppage time. So 8 left for OKC to try to get a point. Now on the counter, here comes Fresno. Chavez, that early goal, looking for Johnson. The speedy forward can't quite run it down.
But notice that as soon as Chavez gets that ball on the left-hand side, the only player who accompanies him is Johnson. Nobody else attacks.
Everybody else back, ready to play defense.
Right. It's all about defense first, just making sure that they sit in a pretty solid mid-block.
You know, Fresno remembers last time they led most of their matchup against OKC. A late goal by Shore Brown evened it up. That was in California. As there's the official 7 minutes left of stoppage time.
The on the sideline has indicated there'll be a minimum of 7 minutes of added time in the second half.
Fresno looking for only their second win. And they've allowed the first goal of the match. They're 1-3-3 entering today when that happens. And for Energy FC, kind of the same narrative. Great road team. They've been getting on top of teams at home. They just haven't been able to hold leads. There's a lot of time to amend things. They'll have a handful of matchups against teams right with them in the Western Conference standings. Cato. He was looking for Bassetti. Cato with the fresh legs. Attempted touch and go with Gordon.
It's got to be better from Johnson. That should have been a ball into space. It was what he was attempting to do. Give Chavez something to run at.
Martin rolls back to Cochran, who's been steady in the second half. This back line for Fresno has been really tough to get past.
Well, right now it's 2 tight lines. No space in between them. Just look how far back Ali Hadzic and Kurimoto are.
It almost looks like Energy FC, they're thinking spread the field out and then just go for that home run ball. And it's just too tough against this group for Fresno.
Well, it's hard to spread the field as well because Fresno is doing a good job of spacing themselves defensively, of shifting their positioning, of rotating whenever they've needed to move, whether to the left or to the right-hand side, depending on where the ball is.
Energy FC fans you just saw looking on nervous. Under 5 minutes left to go. And their home team hasn't been able to crack this conservative defense for Fresno.
Well, it's complete gridlock. You look at how many white jerseys are just in front of the 18-yard box.
Gordon trying to take matters into his own hands. Also fatigue playing a factor. And of course, with the clock being his best friend right now, Cochran can take his time. Former Energy keeper. Deep kick. Williams. Little touch to Cato. Del Campo, who might be the MVP of this match. The go-ahead goal, some excellent defensive plays.
Well, Chavez has been very good with his hold-up play as well. Just linking midfield to attack. And as I said earlier, doing his defensive duties really well, winning a lot of balls in the air, making it difficult for any of the energy players to really make comfortable contact on the ball.
Even right there, just the casual pressure put on Cato makes him spend an extra second or two getting set.
It was a nifty move from Cato to get past Chavez there.
Looking over a challenging back line, Williams. Under 3 minutes left of stoppage time. High kick. Dangerous. For a second, I think some fans thought the net movement a very hopeful goal, but no, just a little bit too tall.
I think Cochran had that under control, but it may have dipped just a little bit faster than he expected. Maybe made him a little uncomfortable.
The touch from Alvin Jones tonight. That one a couple inches high. He had that beautiful assist in the first half. Not a bad look there.
Yeah, it's interesting because he had that assist, but he hasn't exactly marauded down that right-hand wing. Just not enough attacking from Alvin Jones. And then, of course, makes it harder for first in the first half for Jonathan Brown and then for Omar Gordon to really be able to take on their markers one-on-one because they don't have any help.
A defeat would put Energy FC at 7, 8, and 9. We'll have to wait and see how everybody else does. A lot of games in action tonight that impact their place in the standings. Gordon got free. That might be the best chance Energy FC will get in these final minutes.
Giffrard, a little too slow to react. Luckily for him, Cochran fast off his line, read the danger, and denies the opportunity for Omar Gordon.
You may not see it in the box score, but that is an underrated play, I think, by Cochran to recognize a potential threat and to really stop it before anything happened. Gordon the touch. Daly waiting for it. Energy FC looking for a miracle here. Cato. Played out. .30 seconds left in stoppage time. One more look towards the box. Cochran will play it down.
Sorry. Deshaun Brown actually makes contact with that ball. He's well covered. Again, more in hope than expectation. Too little, too late. Not enough urgency.
There's a header. And for a second, Harris thought maybe there was a hope it would squeak past Cochran. It does not, and that will do it under the heat here in Oklahoma City. Fresno FC comes in and pulls out the 3 points in a 2-1 win.
Yeah, it's a big win for Fresno, but you have to feel that OKC let this one slip away. They should have had the 3 points. Instead, they have none.
Ramon Martin Del Campo, that man right there, what a performance for him defensively, was fantastic, and he had that big, ends up being the game-winning goal in the second half.
Yeah, huge defensive moment where he blocks Gordon's shot, and then he comes up with the goods on the other end.
Fresno FC takes the victory 2-1. Martin Del Campo picks up the late goal. Chavez scored. Then Highland got a goal as well for Energy FC in that first half. We'll take a break and come back and recap this one. As that one goes to Highland, he is the man of the match tonight for Energy FC off that beautiful pass from Alvin Jones. And he got the goal, his second this year, making him tonight's man of the match, presented by Mass Mutual.
Yeah, he's really been the man of the last 2 weeks for this team. Scores a wonderful goal, was playing further up the field, did ever so well, but just not enough. But he did all he could.
Still, you gotta love the celebration. New father, Kyle Highland, gets his second goal. Happy for him, as he's got 2 goals and a couple assists this year. 2-1. We'll break and come back and recap this one. Fresno FC picks up the win in Oklahoma City.
Goals are something we outline for ourselves, and oftentimes they can be pretty lofty. When things begin to line up the way we think they should, we appreciate those who helped us along the way, like the help you get with commercial banking from FFB. Our experts are ready to partner with you to help you manage cash flow, oversee accounts through online banking, and help you secure a business line of credit. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours.
Fresno FC takes 3 points. They win against OKC Energy FC 2-1 tonight. Tonight's post game is brought to you by Dental Depot. We appreciate you tuning in throughout the match and sticking with us through the post game as we look at those highlights. A lot of action early the second half. Outside the goal, a little more defensive heavy.
Yeah, Highland scoring the first goal, and you thought that after this, the way that the Energy were playing, that it was going to go their way. Beautiful ball from Alvin Jones, and then Highland out jumping Ellis Hayden to nestle that ball in the corner. Great celebration. Chavez would equalize it soon after. Just disaster defending from the home team. And then he just shows up at the second post, taking full advantage of the gift that he was given.
Had a yellow, as we look at this one last goal here, it was such a gut punch after OKC got that first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes the wind out of their sails. A situation here where Ellis Hayden could have gotten his marching orders for an elbow on Christian Isley, and the ref didn't see it well, so he gives him a yellow instead. And then the moment that would define the game, just a second ball that lands at the feet of Ramon Del Campo. He actually wins the initial header, so he is deserving of this goal, but a disaster for the Energy, who really never attacked the way they should have in that second half. They never really chased the game like a team that really needed the points. Good opportunity here for Omar Gordon, but Cochran quick off his line. And one of those very good celebrations. We saw a few of them in this game.
Yeah, entertaining night, and of course, those highlights brought to you by Mercy, and the full-time stats are provided by First Fidelity Bank, proud founding partner of Energy FC. And this has been a different story this time. Energy FC actually outshot Fresno, which was one big key tonight, but of course, Fresno picking up the win.
Yeah, and most of those shots for the Energy coming from distance. There were a lot of bodies in between the shot and CJ Cochran, so not very dangerous. The real opportunities were from set pieces when Rafael Garcia was able to try and find a target. Ibiaga and Deshaun Brown should have had some goals tonight.
Going forward, Energy FC, a chance to pick up some points. I guess your final thoughts here tonight, Eric.
Well, they just have to be a little bit more dominant. They have to be cooler in possession, and they need to want it more. I don't think they wanted it enough tonight.
Big thanks to our great crew. Wonderful job tonight. Big thanks to you for tuning in. For Eric Krakauer, I'm Ryan Pierce. Final score, Fresno FC tops OKC Energy FC 2-1 at Taft Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.